Hello again, friends. Will Davis Jr. here. This is 40 lessons or conversations or 40-ish talks on the Old Testament. Today is day 16, lesson 16. I'm going to talk about the Exodus. And again, it's criminal because the Exodus is a whole book of the Bible, and I'm going to spend about 4 minutes on it. As always, please send your cards, comments, questions, and complaints to me at srpastor@acfellowship.org. Senior pastor, because I love hearing from you. Okay, so the second book of the Bible is the book of Exodus. It is written by Moses, and it is the record of the leading of the people of Israel out of captivity in Egypt, up to the border of the Promised Land, and the giving of the law as far as the Pentateuch, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, the first 5 books, Pentateuch, given to us primarily by Moses. The Exodus date is probably between 1400 and 1300 BC, about 400 years after the Egyptian captivity began at the end of the patriarchal period, which would date at about 1800, give or take. And the book of Exodus is some of the best drama in the Bible. I mean, it's good stuff. Obviously, there's been movies made about it, but the story opens with the birth, of a baby boy to an enslaved family. And the risk of his life and the drama of giving away that baby, and then Moses being raised, and the burning bush experience in chapter 3, and all the just amazing things, and then the story of God taking Moses by the hand, so to speak, and leading him back to Egypt where he grew up, where he's a wanted man, and confronting Pharaoh, and the plagues that are required to get Pharaoh's attention, and the duel between the magicians of Egypt and the God of the heavens, who ultimately obviously wins out. Their magic forms couldn't keep up with what God was doing. The theme of the Passover, that amazing night when God passed over the Hebrew homes but passed through the Egyptian homes and brought death to the firstborn. Amazing night that Israelites were commanded to remember in the rest of the time, perpetuity, as remembering what God did for them. It's a great, great story. Then you have the scene in Exodus 19. Moses is leading these crazy people, and they're out of control, and he's like, I'm going crazy. So he delegates in chapter 18. Exodus 19, he goes to the mountain and meets God. Exodus 20, we have the 10 Commandments. It's a great, great book. The major theme the book of Exodus is deliverance. God had a plan. Talked about it yesterday. He was never surprised by the Egyptian slavery. He moved in his time to deliver them from slavery, the Israelites, and raised up the deliverer, the one whose name means taken out of. God took the people of Israel out of Egypt with a deliverer whose name means to take them out somewhere, and provided faithfully manna. Two of my favorite chapters in all of Exodus are Exodus 14, the crossing of the Red Sea, and Exodus 16, the giving of the manna, and the rules and how that required so much faith. And as is always the case, Exodus, the Red Sea, with the pillar of cloud and the pillar of fire marking the days for them and guiding them, is a constant reminder that as God parts water, life's on the other side of it. So that happened in Genesis chapter 1 when God separated the waters from water and put the land in the middle of it. Happened in Exodus 14 when the Red Sea's parted and they come through to the other side and they're free from the wrath of Pharaoh. It happens in Joshua, early chapters, when they cross the Jordan River and finally reach the Promised Land. Happens in the birth processes of a mother as her water breaks and life comes out, and happens in baptism. Baptism is a symbol of that. Isn't that good? All that, my friends, in Exodus. Exodus also tells the story of how God built an entire tabernacle with wealth and riches with the possessions of a formerly enslaved nation, the Israelites. And how God said, look, I want you to take an offering. And they brought forth porpoise skins and lamps and gold. And how did a former nation of slaves have all this stuff? And it's because God instructed the Israelites to plunder the Egyptians. So on their way out, they said, look, can I have that lamp? Can I have that rug? And God used he used the wealth of the Egyptians. How good is this? Who enslaved Israel for 400 years to build the tabernacle in the wilderness. He provided. And he told Abraham 400 years earlier he was going to do it. God never questioned your provision. Anyway, so much good stuff in Exodus. Read it. It's some of the best drama in all the Bible. Lord, thank you for the story of Moses and Exodus. Thank you for your deliverance. Thank you for leading us out of captivity into freedom. And I pray this in your name. Amen. See you tomorrow.